and we're about 6 feet away. Look at the difference. Let's go take a look. Well, it's kind of getting late in the day. Sun's starting to go down. Oh shoot, it's 8:30. We got to get going. We're talking headlight restoration real quick. I would save this for tomorrow, but I got it all taped up and stuff. It takes about an hour for me to do this the right way. Let's just get after it. So there's a lot of gimmicks, a lot of stuff out there. I watched a video just the other day that YouTube guy said, hey, just rub this mag wheel polish on your headlights that look like this. That I tried it. It didn't work. That doesn't work. The only way, once they become oxidized like this and you can actually feel the roughness with your fingertips, you've got to take that layer off. And you're not going to take it off chemically without really sinking into this plastic, this acrylic here. So what we're going to do is, you can buy these kits in a lot of different places. This one happens to be the Freight Harbor brand, and it has well, it's missing the goo. I must have took it out, but it comes with a tube of polishing goo, and then the thing for your drill, and I think it's 500, 800, and then there's probably like 1,000 or 2,000 in there, 1,500 maybe, and then a polishing sponge and some tape. And you basically, you start out with the 500, you go to the 800, you go to the finest sandpaper, and then you get out your polishing sponge and you just go through and you eventually knock that back down to a nice shiny smooth finish. This requires all the patience. If you get in a hurry on this, you won't get the results you want. That's the easiest thing to say. I don't follow the instructions meticulously because, well, I like to dabble with stuff. So I'll use the paste that comes with this stuff, but then you can also get out some of your Meguiar's products if you have them. We might touch on this one. I know we will touch on this one, the dual action cleaner polish. This seems to be a really good step after the final sanding. And then I add a very final step, because all of this stuff, although it's getting you down to a nice smooth shiny surface, it's not protecting it from anything. So they do add at the very end, I'll put a little chemical on there to give it some UV protection, and hopefully, you know, with an application of that a couple times a year, you won't have to come back and do this whole process again for a while. Enough of me rambling though. Let's just get after it here. I've used the tape in the kit before. This time I didn't, but the important thing that I will point out is 2 layers, because if you get after it with your, you know, drill and your spinner thingy, and you touch the tape, you can burn through it if you're being aggressive. And ask me how I know. It can leave a little mark on your paint, but I use 2 layers of tape on a car that I care about, or on a customer car, and that seems to, you know, save my bacon. So you pull this out. The first thing we're going to look for is the most aggressive sandpaper, and that's going to be 500. Now, when the constructions tell you, they say this is a dry sanding. That's the way they construct you to do it. Sorry, I kicked you. However, I have found that the paper lasts a lot longer. It doesn't gum up if you wet sand this. How close are you guys? Are you guys? Yeah, you're all right. We got the handy dandy drill. We'll keep it. We might go down to. Yeah, we'll probably go down to speed 1. Dip it in the water. Just a bucket of clear water here, and we're just gonna get after it. don't know if you can see that or not, but the paste that you're creating is actually yellow because it's got contaminants in it. But as you cut down through this, we'll start to even this out. You can see you can see where the hood overlaps, how clear it's supposed to be. We're going to try to bring this all into a uniform finish, even this edge up here, and then we'll kind of know that we're ready to move on. See, I'm taking off so much material. Again, you can kind of see the off yellowish whitish color. If I was doing this dry, I had to burn through probably 2 of those sandpaper circles by now. But we're still going strong with our original circle. So okay, I think we're ready to move to 800. You can see we've got a nice, there's still a little bit of a line there, but we've got a nice even scuff all through here. Any of the gouges or pits from bugs or whatever else are mostly at least cleaned out, if not gone. So we're gonna move on to 800 now, and you just repeat the process, but key is take your time. Here's an example of what I mean by using it wet and not sanding dry and getting, you know, everything you can out of these. This is a circle of 800 grit wet sandpaper, and I've used it enough and kept it pretty clean. It's still not completely clogged, but I've used it enough that I've the little fabric that goes onto the Velcro on here has come off, and I actually re-glued it on with headliner adhesive, so I can keep using this, because I'm cheap, is why. Another thing to watch for is as you get through these finer and finer grits, you'll find that once you get to where it's happy, you'll see less residue in your water and in your slurry, I guess. And that's an indication that it's not catching any high spots from that crustier grit that you used. So we've got maybe one more pass on this, but you'll see as we go here, we'll get less and less white in our slurry. Close look, we might be ready to move on here. I think so. You're just looking for uniformity. You don't want to see any of those 500 grit circles or scratches. I think we're in good shape. Yeah. All right. Okay, so now all of our yellowing, no, not this yellowing, all the contaminant yellowing is gone, and we're down to just the haze. So the next one, I had to read the constructions, 3000 grit. Now it's a pretty big jump from 800 to 3000, so we're gonna have to work on this just a little bit. It is what it is. They give you 3000 in this kit, and we can make it work. Again, all this wet sanding, but especially when you get into the thousands, you want to be wet sanding. So we've just gotten through the sanding phase, and let's compare. We haven't even polished. We haven't put a lick of polish on the driver's side headlight yet. Passenger side. All right, this one hasn't been touched. That's what it looks like. Driver's side. And we have not even started to polish yet. We've just gotten through the sanding. From there to there. Gross. All right, let's finish this one out and we'll show you the final product here. All right, so this is the sponge that they give you in the Harbor Freight kit. I'm gonna go a little bit off script here. You could use the schmoo that comes in the kit, but it's kind of a finish polish. I'm gonna go to about 6 on the McGuire scale, and we're gonna do a little bit of this just to get through those initial sanding marks. I got way too much on there. Damp sponge, just get it a little damp. Well, that's the end of that battery. Game on. And at this point, you officially switch from like a cotton towel that we were wiping off residue with before to a microfiber. And we're starting to get some pretty good shine here, guys and gals. Let's hit it a little bit more. How do you like me now? That's just one round of polishing. Now we're gonna rinse out our pad. If we can get it on here, it's gonna, backing's starting to separate. And then we're gonna go to the schmoo that came in the kit. So, clean pad, polishing schmoo. Again, just a little bit of dampness on your pad. And then we'll give this a little bit of action here. A much lighter compound. Yeah, you can tell that's straight up polishing compound. There's not a lot of bite to that stuff. There were one more. I had the light off for you there, sorry. So you've seen all of my steps except the last one. And this one came about as me even trying one of those, hey, just smear this schmoo on and it'll take away your cloudiness in your headlights. Doesn't work for that. However, it's Meguiar's Plast X. And what I use it for is a final treatment, because you do want, so far we've just polished. We haven't treated, we haven't protected anything. This stuff has some polymers, or allegedly has polymers and waxy type things that will help to prolong the finish that we worked so hard here to achieve. So we're just gonna smear this schmoo on by hand with a clean microfiber. Oh, I got some down there. And you'll be able to tell, you know, the plastic will eat this up a little bit. It dries up so quickly because, you know, the plastic is absorbing the goodness out of it. At least that's what I tell myself. And it does kind of give it a nice final shine, but I've tried it on some oxidized stuff, and for that it's just not happening, at least not to my standards. You just use it like paste wax, kind of get it in there, and like I said, after it's, I mean, you rub on it for 30 seconds here and it'll start to absorb, and before you know it, it's pretty much gone. A little cleanup, get any excess off, and you're done. Now let's compare. Driver's side, all clean and shiny fancy. Passenger side, not all clean and shiny and fancy. But what's really, so even if you just come back here, you know, we're about 6 feet away. Look at the difference. Pretty incredible. We're gonna get this other side done, and then we'll show you the total package. We'll get the tape off and all that good stuff, and we'll wrap it up there. Well, here we are. Front of the car is still a little I gotta put the license plate back on. It's a little water spotty, but what a difference just it makes cleaning those headlights up. That step's done. We got to put some decals on this thing, and then it's time to give it back to the customer running better and looking better than it has in quite some time. That's how I do the headlights around here. I know somebody's gonna comment, hey, try this trick, it's one step, there's no sanding, use this goo, use that goo. I've tried it. I haven't tried them all, but I've tried enough that, and I know this works, it gets results. So stick with what works, take your time, use your patience, take your time and use your patience. Appreciate you watching this one. Click like, subscribe. We'll catch you on the next video.